The studio lights blazed like miniature suns, and the hum of the audience's anticipation filled the air. Harrison Ford, Hollywood legend and a man whose face had defined generations of cinema, sat across from Jimmy Kimmel with the calm confidence of someone who had nothing left to prove. But beneath the composed exterior, a storm was brewing, one that no one in the room, not even Harrison himself, realized was about to erupt. The segment began innocently enough. They joked about Indiana Jones, teased a few stories from the set of The Fugitive, and traded light-hearted jabs about aging. Harrison smirked as the audience laughed. He'd done hundreds of interviews before. But then, Jimmy steered the conversation toward a hot-button topic: Hollywood's shifting culture, political correctness, and the state of the film industry. Harrison leaned forward, his eyes narrowing, not in anger, yet, but in that way he did when he was about to deliver a line in a movie that everyone would remember. "You know, Jimmy," he said, his voice carrying that gravelly authority, "I think we've lost something. We're so busy trying to be safe, to please everyone, that we've stopped telling the truth. We're afraid of real stories. And, honestly, I think it's making us weaker both as storytellers and as people." There was an audible shift in the studio. A few gasps. Jimmy chuckled nervously, trying to smooth things over. "Well, you know, times change, Harrison. Maybe it's just adapting to a new world." Harrison shook his head slowly. "Adapting's fine. But when adapting turns into silencing, when we stop letting people say things because they might hurt feelings, we're not adapting. We're hiding." His voice grew firmer. "I've been in this industry for decades, and I've seen real courage not just in actors, but in the crews, the writers, the people who risked their reputations to tell a story that mattered. We need that courage back. And we're not going to get it if we keep pretending everything's fine when it's not." The crowd was dead silent now. You could hear the faint hum of the cameras. Jimmy tried to interject with a light comment, but Harrison cut him off, not rudely, but with the kind of conviction that commanded the floor. "You've got a platform here, Jimmy. You've got millions of people listening to you. I don't waste it on fluff. Use it to challenge people. Otherwise, you're just part of the problem." The control room scrambled. Producers gestured frantically. A voice in Jimmy's earpiece urged him to move to commercial, but the tension had already cracked the air wide open. Jimmy forced a laugh and said, "All right, folks, we're going to take a quick break." But his tone was tight. When they came back from commercial, Harrison's chair was empty. The show carried on like nothing had happened, but the absence was deafening. Backstage, Harrison was already putting on his leather jacket. A producer caught up to him, apologizing, explaining it was just the nature of live TV. Harrison gave a small, tired smile. "You don't have to apologize. I said what I came here to say." And with that, he walked out into the cool Los Angeles night, the neon glow of the studio sign fading behind him. The clip went viral within hours. Social media split into two camps: those who thought Harrison had overstepped, and those who called him a hero for speaking his mind. People shared his words in text posts, in reaction videos, in impassioned essays. It was as if he'd struck a chord that no one realized had been waiting to be played. Days later, Harrison released a short statement. No PR team fluff, no apologies, just a few lines. "Truth isn't always comfortable, but comfort has never made a great story." And maybe that's why, for millions of people watching from their homes, his walk-off wasn't a scandal, it was a reminder that in a world full of noise, sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is speak clearly, stand your ground, and walk away when you've said your piece. Because stories aren't just about happy endings. They're about the courage it takes to tell them in the first place.